Let's Talk DeKalb. I'm your host, Diamond Lewis. The coronavirus pandemic is dramatically changing how we all go about our day-to-day tasks and routines, to say the least. And those changes have also impacted our educational institutions. In fact, many students and parents are now wondering what school will even be like in the fall. That has many administrators throughout our educational system working diligently to map it all out. And that includes Georgia Piedmont Technical College, which aims to produce a skilled and qualified workforce for DeKalb, Newton, and Rockdale counties. To get the very latest on the reopening plans for GPTC, we went straight to the president, Dr. Tavarez Holston. Now, Dr. Holston has been an educator and advocate for technical education for almost 20 years. He was appointed as president of Georgia Piedmont Technical in September of 2018, and he is the fourth president of the college since its opening in 1961. Here now is my interview earlier today with Dr. Holston. Dr. Holston, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today, because I can only imagine how crazy busy your schedule is.
Yes, it's very challenging times, but it is a pleasure to be with you today.
So let's talk about that. You have an incredible responsibility in terms of preparing the workforce for the current generation and even for the future here in DeKalb County and beyond. Talk to me about how is Georgia Piedmont Technical faring in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic?
The good news about Georgia Piedmont Technical College is we're here, as you've said, to prepare a workforce, and our employers are still looking for qualified people, and we are the place that they come and turn to when they come looking for those people. And that happens to be our very point of and purpose of existence, is to make sure that students and those who want to have skills to get the jobs that are out there, that we're here to provide those skills and connect them with our faculty who are subject matter experts in those fields. And so that's what we do. So things are going great here at the college. Things are a little bit different, a little bit out of sorts. Our hallways aren't bustling with a lot of life and activity as we so love, but we're still connected with our students. We're still teaching and doing the things that we do.
Now, Dr. Holston, you already had online programming available for your students even pre-COVID-19, because I understand that your mission is to reach the students where they are in all aspects of their lives, in all ages. You wanted to provide that educational platform to them. So now talk to us about how that platform has been enhanced post-COVID-19.
Okay, that is a wonderful question. And you hit the nail right on the head. You alluded to the fact that, yes, we do provide that education through a distance. And so, you know, you hear a lot about institutions having to shift and change the way they do things, but we're not in unfamiliar territory when it comes to delivering online instruction. We've been doing this for several years. We were very early implementers of distance education. And so for us, you know, as I said, a lot of our faculty who teach those hands-on occupational skills, they did have some component like welding or automotive mechanics, some of our nursing, some of those programs, they did shift to teaching a little bit more at a distance than what they're accustomed to, but we still enhance our learning through a virtual platform, a web-based learning platform, where students will log in and they'll complete their assignments, they'll interact with their instructors, they'll interact with their classmates, and I don't believe they really missed a beat. Of course, for those who weren't accustomed to that initially, they may have had to make a few adjustments, but for the most part, instruction continued in the way that we're accustomed, with a slight tweak, maybe.
I think that's fascinating. How can a student who's, let's say, in your welding program, which I know is quite popular, how can I, as a welding student, get that same hands-on training on my computer? Because I think that's fascinating. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned welding. We do have welding simulators here at the college, but nothing beats having the smell of those fumes and the heat of that fire in front of you. And so, you know, during this time, you know, we've delivered for summer semester in particular, we delivered the lecture components in a distance format via the web. But we have had some limited opportunities for students to come onto campus and do their practical demonstrations with their instructors, of course, using appropriate PPE and following all the health and safety guidelines. but we've had to really scale down the number of folks that are on campus. But it is so important that our students actually touch the tools and they have those experiences in the classroom so that when they go on to the job site, there's no difference in what they're experiencing in the classroom and the job site because they're already accustomed to the tools and the experience that they're training for. And so, you know, we've enhanced using the web, but we still, our bread and butter, Diamond, is about hands-on occupational education. What we want to make sure that we're turning out students who can actually perform those skills that those employers are looking for. So we find ways, whether it be simulation, whether it be one-to-one limited lab situations, we want to make sure that those students already have those experiences and they're not learning as much and have such a deep learning curve once they arrive to the job site.
Dr. Holston, I have had the opportunity to tour the actual buildings there on your campus at Georgia Piedmont Technical, and I had the chance to see just the vast array of all the different specialties and disciplines that you offer there. Go ahead, take a few moments. I know this is going to be hard for you, but brag a bit on just how massive your programmatic offering is there at Georgia Piedmont Technical. What disciplines do you cover?
Wow, we have a very diverse mix of programs. So, you know, if you think about, there's a lot of talk about essential workers and those people who are still working. If you think about those types of jobs, those are the types of people that we're training. And we've heard from some of our graduates who are out, say, in the grocery stores, and they're fixing the refrigeration units that are keeping our groceries cool and our food preserved. So we have people who are in refrigeration. We're training EMTs and law enforcement officers. We're training firefighters. We're training engineers and computer programmers. So we have a very diverse and mixed group of programs. And what we try to do here at Georgia Piedmont, we serve actually 3 counties. So DeKalb, Rockdale, and Newton counties. And so the programs that we offer fit the specific industry needs of each of those counties. So if there's a job in any one of those counties, we want to make sure that we have a program that specifically relates to that industry. So for instance, if we have a business who's looking for a marketing person to come in and help with to promote their business and industries, we have a marketing program. For the film and television industry that you might find of relevance to you is we have a digital media program and a recording arts program. We also do things like short-term programs like commercial truck driving. So where a student can come in a matter of just a few weeks, they can complete the training, be certified, and they can go to work with just a few weeks of training with very little to zero debt. So we do that. We take care of we train childcare workers. So we have a very vast and broad program offering that are here for our students. But the most important thing is we train people for the jobs in DeKalb County. We are DeKalb County's technical college.
One of my favorite quotes that I can attribute to our CEO here of DeKalb County, Michael Thurman, is he would always say, it's not the color of the collar, it's the color of the dollar. That's it, because all those industries that you're talking about, they are essential services here in our country and really our world. And so those jobs are really, those people are making a lot of money in those industries. That trade world is incredible.
They really are. And I think a lot of times people, let me put it this way. We're all designed, I believe, to do things that just come naturally to us. And when you think about higher education, there's multiple pathways to get that green piece of paper that we all like to have to take care of our families and do the things that we like. And so there are multiple paths. One of those paths is a 2-year path. Another is a 4-year path and beyond. And so it's not a one or the other. It's what is it that I really want to do with my life? How do I find purpose? Because all work, I believe that every job, any work, as long as it meets the needs of that individual and it's a way that they can thrive, it's meaningful. And so work gives us purpose. And so for us in the technical colleges, the money that is available to be made out there just boggles my mind. Like, for instance, there was a company that came to me and they said, Dr. Holston, we really need people who know how to work on mechanical automation type equipment. And I was like, all right, tell me more. Well, we need someone who has aptitude in math and engineering. And I was like, what does this kind of a job pay? Well, it pays about $50,000 to get started. And by the way, we have a $10,000 signing bonus if we can find those types of people. And so for me, that's just right up my alley. I'm like, hey, look, I got lots of students who would love to talk to you. And that's with just about a 2-year education. And that it happens to be what we call our Hope Career Grant programs, our strategic industries, where industries are having a hard time finding qualified workers. And so the state of Georgia, through Hope, through those funds, they can actually complete the program for free. So the investment for the student is their time and the struggle of learning, the challenge of learning something new. But as far as coming out of the pocket with the green, as you mentioned, and that program is called Industrial Systems. That program specifically, it is tuition free. So how amazing is it that a person who has that aptitude and likes to do things with their hands and just because they're doing work with their hands, it takes thinking and the theoretical to actually put things in motion through the hands. But how amazing is it that a student can do that and make that kind of money coming right out of the gate? I didn't make that kind of money coming out of the gate when I graduated from a 4-year institution. It took me a while to even think about that kind of money. But after a 2-year investment in education and with no debt, that is a beautiful thing. That is powerful.
That's huge. I won't date myself and tell you how long I've been a career professional, but I will say that I have quite a few friends who have been in this industry, in their respective industries for years, and they still have, they're not even halfway done paying their college debt. So you start out of college already with debt. That's not a great thing. That's tough for anyone to have to deal with. So what you're saying is tuition free, you come out of the program and you have a ready-made job. That's incredible.
And here's the thing that I love about our college. One of the things I was once told that, Tavarez, you are responsible for every help wanted sign in those 3 counties. And I can't take them down. So what that means is I have to make sure that those employers, that they have a ready-made workforce. And you talk about just that idea of debt, trying to find a job that you can take care of your family and your own financial needs and also service that student loan debt. I still have that debt too. I'm still carrying some of that. So I get it. But that is such a powerful thing, not to have that kind of a burden, additional burden, when those resources just haven't been there when you start your college career and you move on to your job. Just that's an additional strain that a lot of people just can't bear, or it's not the ideal situation.
Now, we talked about those students who graduate from college and have debt, which means they're already kind of starting further behind than ideally they'd like. But then there are those who graduate from college, they worked hard to get here, they finally have that degree, and guess what? They can't find a job.
Absolutely.
How tough is that? That's just heartbreaking. So what Georgia Piedmont Technical has done, every year you host this massive job fair to make sure that your students are linked to their respective industries. So talk to us about this year's job fair and how, even with COVID-19 and this pandemic going on, you're still hosting this program because you're still going to connect your students with employers.
You are absolutely correct. And Diamond, our job placement rate averages in the 99.5 to 99.8% job placement rate. So any student that leaves us, they will have a job waiting for them at the end. That's what we pride ourselves on. And so in order to respond to, as I mentioned, the help wanted signs that are over all 3 of our counties, all over the DeKalb County, to make sure that we do that, we have to make sure that we are providing people those opportunities to access this education and to be employed. And so this job fair, it's been a huge success for the college, for the communities that are involved. And so just because COVID-19 has decided to crop up its ugly head, that doesn't mean that the work of our counties needs to stop. There's still work to be done. And so on July the 30th, we're going to host a virtual career fair. We're going to do it just like we're doing here. We're going to connect our students and employers together so that the work that needs to be done they can find those people who they need, who have those skill sets that they need. We're also going to do some training, some virtual seminars for those students, how to write your resume, how to do a magnificent job interview to land those jobs. So all of those things that we typically do in a face-to-face format, we're taking them to a virtual platform because we don't want to allow COVID to stop us from achieving our mission to make sure that our students get employed. And anyone else in the community as well. I talk about our students. We are a service organization to our communities. And so just because you're not a GPTC student or graduate, we invite the community to come and access these opportunities with all these great employers. There are some great employers involved in this.
Well, you know what? We have to thank you here at DeKalb County government. Our CEO, Michael Thurmond, one of his major priorities is making sure that the people here in DeKalb County are at work. Putting people to work is one of his major focal points. And this year, his annual summer internship program dealt with the same struggle everyone did. There was a challenge of the fact that there's the concept of sheltering in place now and social distancing because of the pandemic. You stepped up and you partnered with us to help us host the first ever virtual career academy in DeKalb County. So we have to say thank you. Talk to us about that and how, again, you're saying we are not going to stop putting the people of DeKalb County to work.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And it's funny that you talk about CEO Thurman. He and I are good friends. And he called me and said, Holston, look, we have this opportunity. Our folks need to work. They need to get trained and skilled and get jobs. Hey, what can we do to facilitate this? What can the college do? Is this something you're interested in? I'm like, duh, let's go, man. And so, yes, that is a great partnership between the college, the county, WorkSource, DeKalb, and other partners, just to make sure that our young people have an option during the summer where they can make money to learn. And that's once again, that falls within our mission of making sure that those people, those employers who are looking for a trained workforce, they can find the people they're looking for.
And another partner of that program is the DeKalb County School District. And I happen to know that you regularly partner with the school district as well. In fact, quite a few of our students graduate from high school and they already have an associate's degree.
That was unthinkable when I was in school. That just blows my mind. It is not uncommon. And we throughout all DeKalb County, through all of our schools, we've had some of our counties, valedictorians and salutatorians, walk across the high school graduation stage, and in the same week, walk across the stage and I hand them their 2-year degree. That is amazing. All at the same time while they're in high school with no cost. So that was unthinkable when I was in school. How powerful is that, knowing that these young people are coming out of high school with 2 years of college, a college degree hanging on their wall, and they have a prospect of employment and a job and a skill they can use. Should they continue just to stop there, or if they just continue to pursue further education? That's just amazing. And that's through our dual enrollment program. And so we partner with the DeKalb County School District to offer a smorgasbord of offerings that will appeal to students, whatever their level of interest is or what discipline they want to pursue.
And then my final question for you is, unfortunately, no one has a crystal ball. We can't predict what the future holds in terms of this pandemic. But you can tell us, what are the plans for the future for Georgia Piedmont Technical? What can we expect for the upcoming semester?
Here's what you can expect. We are still going to be teaching students. Our employers are still calling us saying, do you have someone to meet my job need? I need people. And so as long as we have employers saying we need to hire people, GPTC will be here training. For the students specifically, that might look a little bit different during the fall. As you said, we don't have a crystal ball. But what I can tell you is my staff and I, we're planning on having a flexible model of instruction, sort of like what we're doing right now during the summer semester, where there's some lecture and some in person and some in a distance education format. But we're going to build that in so that we can be flexible, so that if safety and health becomes or continues to be a consideration, we can be a little bit more flexible. And not have to make such a dramatic transition for students. And our students are very adaptable. I love our students. I'm so encouraged by the work that they do here at the college. But we want to make sure that they are prepared to be in a format where if we have to be flexible, we can still continue to meet their needs, so that they don't miss a step while they're upskilling and getting what they need to be employable. So we will still be here, Diamond. We're still taking applications. We're still seeing people interested and continuing their education. Right now, especially with so many who are sheltered in place and still kind of limited in their movement throughout our communities, what better time to pursue education than in that environment?
Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing here in DeKalb County and in the other counties as well. Thank you so much for your time here with us today, and we look forward to seeing what else is to come from Georgia Piedmont Technical.
It's been my absolute pleasure to be here with you, and we're here for the community. We're here for DeKalb County, and we want to make sure that we help the county move forward.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb, focusing on Georgia Piedmont Technical College. Find out more information on the college at their website at gptc.edu. And don't miss out on that job fair scheduled for July 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. All employers and job candidates must register for this virtual regional job fair in advance at careerco.com/events/Georgia Piedmont. Now, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this and all of our other programming here at DCTV. Just send us an email to dctv@dekalbcountyga.gov. And don't forget to stay connected with us here at DeKalb County Television through our social media channels. And you can even get exclusive access to additional DCTV videos on our website at dctvchannel23.tv. That's going to do it for this edition of Let's Talk DeKalb. You stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.